Sophia. This is my Calligraphy for Beginners tutorial series. I will be doing a lesson for every letter of the alphabet. We will be doing 10 different styles in uppercase and lowercase. I believe anybody can do calligraphy even without fancy tools. So I started doing this series with a Crayola marker. But as I have been getting many requests asking to do the tutorial using both the Crayola marker and the pointed pen, as some calligraphers prefer to use the pointed pen. So if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you like to receive notifications about my new videos, please click on the bell icon below. So I guess let's get started without any ado. For this, I will be using a HP LaserJet Premium Printer paper, 32 pounds. Reason to use this higher gauge paper is, as I will be demonstrating the pointed pen writing in the same paper, I have to use a thicker paper to get sharp, nice letters. You can use photocopy paper, but you won't get sharp edges in the pointed pen writings, and also there is a chance of the paper particles getting stuck in the pointed tip. Then the tools I will be using would be a regular Crayola supertips marker and a pointed pen. As it is easier to get the strokes in an angle with an oblique holder, I'll be using one. And the nib I would be using would be a Nicoche nib. Let's begin with our style 1 for lowercase f. So to do the F, I would need to do an ascender and the descender, because F has both an ascender and a descender. So you see I do 2 loops for my first style as the ascender and the descender. So in my second style, I would go for a similar ascender, but the descender I make it a bit more oval, so you can see the difference. I make the descender a bit more ovally. So if I draw the guidelines for the letter F, so this would be the baseline, and then this would be the ascender line. So from the baseline you go towards the baseline, and then from there you go to the ascender line, come down below the baseline or the descender line, and then go up. So here you can see the difference of the thinner descender and the oval descender. So as the third style, I would like to go for an extended ascender. Here I won't be connecting the connector to the ascender. This will be a standalone from the previous letter. So you can see I have extended the ascender in this. As the fourth style, I'll be doing a variation of the first style. So you can see I would be going for a smaller descender in this. So I do the ascender in the same size as the first one, but the descender I do it smaller than the one I did in the first one. So you can see the difference here. So in this fifth style, I cut away the loop in the ascender totally out of the design, and then I introduce a loop in the middle of the letter. So you can see here I want to introduce a loop. So this doesn't have a ascender loop, just a loop in the middle and the descender. So in this, I'm going to bring in the ascender loop again as an extended ascender, but I also made the middle loop a bit bigger than the earlier one. So here in this, I'm gonna bring the looped ascender but get rid of the looped descender and introduce a swirl over there. So you can see I end it with a swirl and I drew a crossbar as I begin it with a loop and end it with a swirl. So in this, I'm going to start it with the ascending loop. So the connector goes all the way to the ascender and then down in my downstroke. So I don't curve or anything at the end of the descender, and I do a small curly crossbar. So for the ninth style, this will have loops in both the ascender and descender but in opposite directions. So you can see I did a loop to one side, and in the descender I did the loop to the other side, and then I made the crossbar. So the 10th style would be the flourish. So I draw the normal F with the ascender loop and the descender loop, and I come back to where I started and extend that line into a flourish. So you can do a small flourish like this, a basic one. So we're done with all 10 styles with the Crayola marker. So it's time to move on to do it with the pointed pen. So we'll start with the basic. I do my upstroke in a very thin line, and then I go up in another upstroke and come down in my loop with the downstroke. The thicker downstroke I achieved by applying pressure to the nib. So you can see it's not that hard to do the calligraphy with the pointed pen as well, as long as you have the basic understanding of how to get the strokes right. So if you have practiced your strokes, it's as simple as doing it with the Crayola marker, and it gives more sharp lettering. So here I'm doing my extended ascended F. Always be really slow as much as possible to get very neat writing, because calligraphy is about patience. You do it very slow. Like in cursive writing, you use cursive writing mainly to write fast so that you don't have to lift your hand in between. But calligraphy is different. Calligraphy, you always lift your pen after each stroke. So you can see now I'm doing my no loop ascender F. So it's very simple to maneuver the nib. All you have to do is practice. So here I'm doing the big loop in the middle. You can see I'm going very slow. So you can see the big loop, and then the 7th one. I'm gonna do my downstroke now and then end it with that small swirl. So I draw a small dot in the end to make it more fancy, and then the crossbar. So the next one, You see how I always stop after each stroke? You don't need to stop where I stopped in the middle of the loop. I stopped there because my nib got caught in the paper. Sometimes those things happen, your nib gets caught in the paper and it splatters ink a little bit here and there. So mistakes happen. It's all about how you can fix it and getting used to it. So to the flourish. Flourishes can be done very beautifully with the pointed pen. You can do it with Crayola marker as well, as I mentioned earlier. But the nib gives you more nice, thinner flourishes. You can see the difference here. So we're done with all 10 styles in both our Crayola marker and the pointed pen. So I guess let's move on to the word of the day. All done. All 10 styles and the word of the day. Please ignore my spelling error in the word of the day. I hope it won't be a problem with you all. After all, we're just learning the styles of letters. So, see you in lowercase g. If you would like to learn more basic stuff like basic strokes of calligraphy and how to form letters with basic strokes, go to my channel or click on the link below and you will find videos on those as well. Also, you can find a free practice sheet in the description below so you can keep practicing your 10 styles. So if you like this video and would like to see more videos like this, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your bell notifications. Bye bye.